Welcome to the latest screencast. This screencast is about using Studio One with Apogee One. Apogee One, and I have one right here, is a great solution for mobile recording, especially for a songwriter or singer-songwriter. If you want to just use your MacBook and a single device for recording while you're traveling or even at home, it's a very simple tool, and it's really optimized for use with GarageBand or with Logic. But the problem with GarageBand is GarageBand's somewhat limited, and Logic is quite a complex and deep and sometimes confusing application. So right in the middle, there's Studio One, a very full-featured app that's very easy to learn and to use. And so I thought it'd be useful to talk about how to use Studio One along with the Apogee One. The Apogee One is a single input device, but it has three different types of inputs. A built-in microphone, which is here. Also, you can connect this breakout cable and connect either a guitar or an external microphone, including microphones that require phantom power. That plugs in up here. And then the output is simply an 1/8" style headphone jack, or you can connect this off to your speakers like I've got set up here today. This knob controls the volume of the whichever input you have selected at the time, and if you push in on it, it will control the volume of the output or the volume of your headphones. So with this single knob, I can get the playback volume or the input volume. And that's we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, to get this set up with Studio One, you need to install the drivers, of course, and I would recommend downloading the drivers from Apogee. There were new drivers for Snow Leopard, and it does work fine with Snow Leopard. When running with Studio One, you will need to run the Apogee Maestro application. Now, most audio interfaces have something similar to this. With Apogee, it's divided into two pieces. The Maestro control, which actually controls the hardware inputs, and then the mixer, which is, I would say, fairly typical of this type of application. If you can't find it, then you can go to Spotlight and search for Apogee, which is 1P, 1G, but 2 E's, and you'll find it there. I would also recommend that you then keep it in the dock so that you can find it whenever you're running Studio One. You'll need to pull this up. So in Studio One, Preferences, Audio Setup, you'll want to pick the Apogee One as your audio device. Another thing you'll need to do is do the song setup. The first time you use it, you might see this where there's really no input set up. So we'll need to add a mono input. I'll just name it mic line because we can connect different things to it. And then the output is already set up to main out, which you can probably leave that. You'll want to leave QMix off. At least I think you'll want to leave QMix off. So then we select OK on that, and that saves that. All right, we're going to add an audio track to record with the One. So the first thing I need to go into the Apogee mixer and make sure that I've got the correct input selected. You select the input right here on the Maestro control panel. I'm going to select the internal mic, but the other options are also here. Now you control the input gain by turning the knob directly on the One unit. See, if you turn it, it controls the preamp gain. This is a digitally controlled preamp gain. If it's not controlling it, you can click it because clicking will switch between controlling the output and the input levels. So I'm going to add a mono track, and then I'm going to record, so I hit Record Enable. Now when I hit Record, input monitoring comes on, but it gives me a phasing effect because the Apogee One has direct monitoring through the Maestro mixer. So I'm going to turn the input monitor off on this channel. We were monitoring through the hardware and through the software at the same time with a little bit of delay, and you get that kind of weird phasey thing happening. Now, to avoid that, every time you record, If you go into the options for Studio One, it's under Advanced. Turn Audio Track Monitoring Files Record. Turn that off. And now we'll start this over here. I'll create a new mono track. It's set to mic line. I hit record, and now I'm ready to record. No phasing or anything like that because this little monitor through software button is not on. Now, the next thing all I need to do is, hey, now I'm recording a right over my multi-track song here. And if I want to adjust what I'm hearing in my headphones while doing this, I need the Maestro mixer. This level is controlling what's coming out of Studio One, and this is controlling what's going in from my microphone. So that's the headphone level of my microphone. And this needs to be set to on. With this set to none, then this mixer is not enabled. But to do zero latency monitoring, you'd need to have this selected to left, right. All right, so I grabbed a guitar, and I'm going to connect this. All right, so I've got that. All right, so I hooked up a guitar to the breakout cable. And now to get the guitar to the input, I just need to select instrument here. And there's my guitar. Little too hot, so we'll turn that down with the preamp control. Still going to use a mono track for this. For this track, I'll relabel this to GTR 1 because you can never have just one guitar track. And then if I hit record here and then hit record here or asterisk on the keyboard, I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm not ready to go because it basically sounds horribly out of tune. All right, so the remaining scenario with recording with one is if you did decide that you want to use an amp model like Ampere, then you need to configure it slightly differently. When you hit record, you would want to use the input monitoring. So you'd want this on here. And then on the Maestro mixer, then you'd want to mute the direct input monitoring so that you could actually hear your amp sound in the one. And I recorded a little bit of that. All right, so that's the basic overview of using One with Studio One, brought to you by Lilac Writer. Thank you, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.